Hisoka, let me give you a hand. He's literally gonna need it after this week's chapter, considering he loses most of the fingers on his hand, because he actually ended up grabbing onto one of these puppets' heads, which ended up exploding right in his face, and that's after having a huge erectified boner in this week's chapter as he's fighting against Chrollo and his thousands of freaking clones. This week's chapter of Hunter x Hunter was horrifying in many senses. You kind of have to put yourself in the head of Hisoka while he's in the middle of this battle, trying to figure out where the hell Chrollo is, how the hell his powers work, when suddenly every single person in the stands just ends up swarming on top of him. And what is Hisoka's answer to all of this? Using his bungee gum to wrap up multiple people at once, literally turning them into a giant meat hammer that he swings around, which is constantly exploding into the crowds of people, which, when they're gone, he has to redo the entire process until realizing the only way to even take these guys out is to simply decapitate them. However, this was all the perfect plan by Chrollo. He was waiting for this moment, for that one solid second where Hisoka was going to try and rip the head off of someone with his bungee gum and then allow it to explode in his hands. As it stands, it looked like Chrollo actually is ahead of the battle this time, because he has dealt the most damage we have ever seen to Hisoka. The fact that all of his fingers are gone is so damn disturbing, and I'm sure that's going to make it even harder for him to actually use his bungee gum abilities, considering he's lost all those fingers. Now, to be fair, he still has his other hand, he still has both of his legs, so he's still going to be one hell of a deadly threat. And as devastating as this attack is, I can almost imagine that the next chapter of Hunter x Hunter is going to open up with Hisoka just having the biggest erection we've ever seen, because this is the most damage that we've ever seen done to him. You kind of have a feeling that he is going to get excited about this, that he's never been pushed back this far before, and that's just going to make him go into an even crazier state of rage, which, to imagine that is honestly kind of insane, because in this week's chapter, when all of the crowd started to swarm on Hisoka, they had this face that they put on him, which was just so damn creepy, making him seem even more devilishly clown-like than we've ever seen before. If you guys remember when he had that battle with Gon in the same arena, he had those like almost multiple split personality faces which would constantly pop up. And the one in this week's chapter will haunt your fucking dreams forever. It is just terrifying but badass all at the same time. It also helps that this week's chapter had a lot of scale to it. It was a very big chapter. There were a lot of panels that really made this battle seem monumental in many senses. My favorite panel of the entire chapter has got to be where Hisoka is standing in the middle of the ring, and you see all of these swarms of people just running towards him, crawling over each other, doing everything they can to get to Hisoka. And it's at that moment that he just goes completely insane and starts to take out all of these guys. However, this has all been according to plan to Chrollo. How in the hell is this battle going to freaking end? I honestly cannot tell. But you can definitely see by reading this week's chapter that Hisoka is starting to get slightly worried. However, like I said, it's moments like these where Hisoka actually ends up becoming the most powerful character in the series. The moments that really start to pump him up and where he really starts to get the thrill of battle. So, what's the rundown on this week's chapter of Hunter x Hunter? Aside from all of the ridiculous, confusing dialogue in the first couple panels where Hisoka's trying to figure out exactly how Chrollo's powers work, they even show you this line chart showing you how each of the Nen abilities are like activated as they work and how they all combine together. Right after that, though, it's for the most part just solid action for the entire chapter. Watching Hisoka just wail on all of these people, everyone in the stands trying to run away, the ones which have been turned into puppets just swarming in on him, all leading up to that final panel, which was definitely one of the most surprising elements of this chapter, one of the coolest moments from the entire series. The fact that Chrollo has just been waiting for that moment just so that he could blow away his hands like that. But you have to realize, too, Hisoka is a magician. He is known for his trickery. For all we know, this is some sort of super elaborate and mega bloody illusion. This could be some sort of trick just to lure in Chrollo, and that's definitely the most interesting element of this battle, is that it's not just a straight-up fisticuffs fight. These are two characters who really use their brains and strategy and their super Nen-filled abilities to try and take each other out without the other even knowing really what's going on. And that makes this one of the most unpredictable unpredictable battles that I have ever seen. Obviously, by the end of this week's chapter, you have to give the edge to Chrollo, considering Hisoka's fingers are no longer there. This is the perfect opportunity for the real, creepy, powerful Hisoka to come out. Maybe he'll be able to utilize his bungee gum in a way that we've never seen. Maybe he can replace his limbs with actual bungee gum itself. I just cannot wait to see what's going to happen in the rest of this battle, which has been so damn intense and has made me completely forget about the Dark Continent arc. I mean, it's still in the back of my mind, and I still can't wait to get back to that element of the story, but this is exactly what the Hunter x Hunter fandom needed at this point, was a really intense fight featuring some of the craziest villain characters from the entire series. Honestly, like I said before, they should have opened up with this when they came back from the hiatus. It would have really gotten people on board, and it sort of is slightly disjointed when we got back to that story and immediately went to this, but I'll be damned if this isn't satisfying. And is it just me, or is the artwork just getting better in every single chapter? Because I've read a few of the old chapters of Hunter x Hunter, and frankly, some of them look fugly. They just don't look all that good. A lot of the times there's barely any background. Sometimes the characters are like really sketchy looking. But these chapters right here featuring Hisoka and Chrollo have been super detailed. All of the movements, all of the fighting choreography has looked really impactful. And again, just begs for an anime episode. Although, I'd love to see them pull it off, because this is one of the most violent battles that I've seen from the entire series, considering the massive body count that is happening right before Hisoka and Chrollo. So, awesome chapter right here, guys. Just another great one, which is super unpredictable, which is definitely one of the best elements of Hunter x Hunter. This is a battling shonen series, but you never really know what's going to happen, and they never reuse the same abilities twice, which is what always makes it really unique. So, great artwork, super action, and a fantastic cliffhanger ending. Watching Hisoka go completely mad this week was also great. So, I'm going to give this chapter right here a 5 out of 5. Another fantastic read of Hunter x Hunter with some beautiful artwork that any fan of the series should definitely check out, especially if you only watched the 2011 anime series, because this is the best place to jump back into. So, awesome chapter. I loved it, but I want to hear from you guys. What did you think about this week's chapter of Hunter x Hunter? Were you really shocked by that final page where Hisoka lost all of his digits? What do you think is going to end up happening in the final battle between Hisoka and Chrollo? Who do you want to win this battle? And what do you want to see from the rest of the Dark Continent arc of Hunter x Hunter? Please tell me in the comments section below. Thank you guys for watching this review. I truly appreciate it. You guys are awesome. If you would like to help support the channel, you can do that in a number of cool ways. You could like this video. You could subscribe to the channel. That way you'll be able to see all of our latest anime and manga reviews. Make sure to also check out our weekly podcast show, The Powerful Nerdcast. It's pretty freaking awesome. You guys can also check out all the other cool links we got in the description box below. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby!